I've always wondered why some people can't find any discipline at all.
Hmm.
How do you how do you talk to people or try to guide people, I guess, or give advice to people who just can't seem to find that discipline? Is it because they just don't want it bad enough?
Well, sometimes that really is the case. Yeah. When it comes down to having that motivation to keep doing things, there's several things that kind of need to be considered. Again, it's not about forcing yourself to do something, but fundamentally, we humans are always kind of basing our choices and our motivations off of a cost to benefit ratio.
Mm.
You give someone something that has a huge amount of benefit with relatively low cost, and they'll stick to it no matter what. They'll love to do it. They'll be motivated every single day to give it everything they've got. So let's say, going and getting your workout in. If you're feeling like you're getting a huge amount of benefit from it, and the cost of doing it is relatively low, you'll be motivated like crazy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
When someone's like, I just can't seem to work out, I just can't seem to get things going on. Well, what's going on is their perceived benefit and the perceived cost is getting a little bit more on the other side of the scale. And so there's several reasons this could be happening. The first of which is, like you said, like, yeah, sometimes they just don't want it that big a deal. Like for some people, building muscle and being stronger and stuff is one of the most important things in their life. Now, I don't know why this is the case for me, but I don't want to be stronger and more fit. For some reason, when I was a younger, like teenager, and so I got the fitness bug when I was 13, and I had a switch flip in my brain, and it was not something I wanted. It is something I absolutely have to have in my life. It is life and death. I need to be physically active to the same degree. I need to breathe air and drink water and socialize with friends. It's not a luxury for me. It is a 100% life and death necessity. But other people, it's like, well, yeah, that'd be cool if, I had abs. It'd be neat. But that's all there is to it. So in that regard, the emotional drive to have it is just not as high.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but we have to be honest with it. We have to be real that, yeah, it's just not that big a deal. It's like this with everything. For some people, they're I'm trying to think of an analogy outside. I always make a lot of car analogies because I'm a car guy. But for some people, their car is their absolute pride and joy. You get a tiny scratch on that thing, and they're like, "It's got to go to the shop. It has to be fixed. It has to be perfect all the time." And other people, they've got trash in their car, and it's got dents and rust and everything, and it's like, "Oh, I haven't changed the oil in like a year and a half," and they're like, "Yeah, whatever. As long as it gets me to work, that's all I need." And it's the same thing with fitness. For some people, it's just super important and it's their lifeblood. Other people, it's like, whatever. And in that case, okay, so the amount of benefit may not be that high, but it's always the benefit to cost ratio we have to consider. So that cost is also the other side of the coin, where you could have a lot of motivation, but if to desire to have something, but if the cost is perceived to be super high, you're still not going to want to do it. And that's why so many of my methods are also about getting that perceived cost as low as possible. So it takes less time, less energy, less effort, less money, because even if you're someone who's like, it'd be kind of cool to be in better shape, if you can keep the costs relatively low, you'll still have tons of motivation to do it. Because you're like, yeah, working out, I get some benefit from it, but it takes me almost nothing in order to get that workout in, then you'll still have motivation. But you could be someone who's like, I really do want this, but the costs are so high,
Mm.
it doesn't matter how much you want it. The costs are still too much. It doesn't matter how much you want it. It's still prohibitively expensive. So we bring those costs down. And again, this oftentimes comes down to what is most important, what is your objective. So you can cut out all of the fluff and stuff that's wasting your time and money and energy and effort. So the cost goes down and your perceived rate of benefit is the thing that's much higher.